Good morning. How's it going? Welcome back to my kitchen. Lovely to see you this morning. I was up early working on a message that I'm going to be giving here in a couple weeks. And talking about grace of all things. Why is it that I can talk about grace all the time? Anyway, I hope you're doing good. I do have some very exciting news to share. That is that my mom is coming today. So I'm super excited to see her. She is coming to California she said that she needed a hug from her California daughters. So my sister Heidi and I get to hang out with her for a couple days. She's going to stay with Heidi for a couple nights, and then she's going to stay with me for a couple nights. So I'm just thrilled to get to see her because, it's just fun to have your mom around. And for how long, for forever, I had my mom just down the road, and now she's like across the country. So super excited to see her. I wonder if you're missing anybody that's far away. I totally understand. So that's what's happening. And I also have, it's not really good news. Well, it's kind of good news. My next book proposal is out. I got the first no. Is that good news or is that bad news? I don't think most authors share when they get a no from a publisher, but it's me. I kind of just share it all. So the good news is that it's out and there are publishers that are reading it. One no is okay because that means that they're reading it. And so the editor did have some good things to say, just that it wasn't going to work for them at the moment. So just praying for the other publishers that have it on their desk right now, that maybe it'll be a fit. We'll see what happens. I'm sure that God knows. So there are lots of other publishers, and a no from one is still okay. So that's me. Sometimes this author life, I guess, is what I'm doing. This writing life is kind of hard and just a little bit disappointing and ugly sometimes. It's okay. Just keep going. Just finish the book. It doesn't matter. But I read something this morning from my favorite devotional. I think I read this every single year. So I wanted to share it with you. Just in case you sometimes have a little bit of ugly in your life, and I'm sure that all of you do from time to time. Goodness sakes. I have to tell you is that I have to put my glasses on because on Sunday I was at my daughter's soccer game, and I don't know how to say this, but I literally couldn't see the soccer game. I saw the blobs and everybody running around, and I just thought, oh my goodness, I think my eyes are going. Anyway, that's a side note. Okay, so I wonder if some of you have things in your life that just sometimes are ugly or disappointing or just plain hard. And for me, waiting is the hardest, and the unknown is the hardest. And then, I put something out there and waiting for somebody to say it's okay, and then I start like second guessing myself, like maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I'm gonna look like a fool. Maybe it's totally bad. Like, you know what I mean? So I wonder if you ever have those times in your life where things just aren't perfect, and they're not going to be perfect, and that's okay, but they're not beautiful all the time. You know, sometimes things are ugly or hard or disappointing or whatever. But this is like my favorite devotional all time. I've been reading this since I got diagnosed with my brain tumor for like the last 6 years. And I read it at least once a year. It's so good. And it has, it's just like 60 devotions. And then at the very end, it's like this list of just being thankful and grateful and what you're thankful for, and seeing the little tiny things, not like the big humongous things, but the little tiny things that you're thankful for. Anyway, so it has like 1,000 lines to fill. So obviously I don't do this really great. I have about 311 of them filled. So I just go through once in a while and do that. But anyway, this chapter was called Ugly Grace. I was like, oh, finding grace in the ugly. Interesting. Anyway, the very, very end of this entry, it says, God is always good and we are always loved, even when what he gives may appear ugly. I thought, ugly. Interesting. And then, actually, I'm switching the order. I liked that first. But towards the beginning, it says something that says, we have the astonishing opportunity to daily love the unlovely into loveliness. I had to read that like 3 times. Let me repeat it. We have the astonishing opportunity to daily love the unlovely into loveliness. I thought, wow, I can love the ugly, the hard, the disappointing. I can love it into loveliness. And I didn't even really, this devotional is the 1,000 Gifts devotional by Ann Voskamp. And if you don't have this, it's so good. Love it. Anyway, very, very love it. Anyway, and it's like all about grace. So how could I not love it? Yeah, exactly. That's me today. So wonder what you're going through. Wonder what is maybe just a little ugly in your life. Not ugly. Ugly doesn't have to be bad. Ugly can just be not, what you thought. Yeah. My dog is sitting right here chewing on her bone. I wonder if you can hear it. Anyway, let's see what else. I guess I have a chapter for you. It is a Christmas one from a Christmas episode. Let's see. It's called Measuring Through Memories. And this is chapter 55 from season 8, episode 11, A Christmas They Never Forgot. And this is probably one of my favorite episodes because I tell this story a lot. If you come and hear me speak, I always tell the story because this is like one of the stories, one of the memories, like we're 4. Okay, I don't think people understand this. People are like, oh yeah, you're an actor, da da da. And you're like, we were 4. Like at the oldest, we were 4.5, okay? So there's not a lot of memories that we have. Like, does that make sense? Do you remember when you were 3? I don't know. But this episode, A Christmas They Never Forgot, I remember it. I remember being on the set. I remember the snow on the ground, not real snow. It was like this, it was like tissue paper cut into a million little pieces. Okay. And they had it like held up by these big plastic, like almost like trash bags. And then this big fan would just start blowing this snow, and it would look just like snow. I mean, yeah, it was crazy. We filmed this actually, I believe it was in August or September, because it takes a couple months. And so it was super hot outside, but freezing inside the soundstage. Like, I don't know, when we all had like wool coats on and everything. I don't know how they did that. Maybe just because the fans were blowing and it was just chilly. But we totally like remember this, like shooting this episode. And, Baby Grace was a very minor character. In fact, in some of the scripts, we're just like listed on the side as one of the props. Like, like with the cow and the bucket. Like, we need a cow, a bucket, and Baby Grace. That sounds so crazy. Anyway. Okay. But this episode was like the big time, because we actually had 4 scenes. Like, we were involved. We were like a character in 4 scenes. I don't know if you understand. It doesn't sound like a lot, but for us, it was like huge. And we kind of knew what was coming up and what we were going to get to do. And we were super excited because, Christmas episode is like really fun. The snow and anyway, so there was 4 scenes, and one of them was licking a candy cane. One of them was opening a present. One was cheering for Pa up in the loft as he snowshoes out to the barn. That wonderful, wonderful scene. And then the last one was to fall asleep on Ma's lap. And this was like crazy because Bren and I were like old enough to realize what was going on, but young enough to also kind of not know what was going on. And so we were kind of like, I want to do this. No, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. It was like, oh. And there was this big, huge thing. And then, of course, we don't get to choose. Like, we don't get to choose. Like, the assistant director says, you're doing this and you're doing this. Like, it's just how it is, And, yeah, of course, like, I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. Poor me. Yeah, I got to fall asleep on Ma's lap, and Brenda got to lick the candy cane, open the present, and cheer for Pa in the loft. Anyway, I remember being really, really upset. Like feeling like, this is not fair. Like, anyway, so this episode is like, I have so many memories about this episode because, well, goodness, you guys know, like, my kind of like struggles with comparison in my younger life and whatever. And so this was like the beginning of it all, which was just so hard. Anyway, so yeah, this is the episode. I don't know how we got off that tangent. I think you guys like it when I tell stories like that. But this was the episode that really I remember. And so that's why it's called Measuring Through Memories. I actually have a memory on Little House. Oh my gosh. Anyway, whatever. The quote is from Laura Ingalls Wilder, and she says, "Where does the time go? It seems like just yesterday." I can see her saying at the table. And here we go. Looking to the past reveals not just how much we've grown in age, but also in faith. Excuse Mo and her bone as she flings it across the kitchen floor. As the Ingalls family gathers around the fire, they share stories of past Christmases. Laura remembers the Christmas snowstorm in the big woods and how Mr. Edwards came with gifts for the family. The Ingalls family understands that time goes by fast, but memories stay to remind us of where we've been and how we've grown. I wasn't stuck in a snowstorm like the Ingalls family, but I did travel down memory lane one Mother's Day weekend. My children and I took a trip to Hume Lake Christian Camp in the Sierra Nevada mountains, possibly my favorite place on the planet. It's where I met Jesus and where my faith became real. The first afternoon, I let the kids relax and went for a run around the lake. The scent of hot pine needles mixed with the dusty trail took me back to my first summer there. I looked around at the trees and realized that they had watched me grow up, and they'd grown with me. We had both endured the harsh winters and hot fires of life. Those trees are still growing, still pointing up to the Creator, as I hope I am. Christmas memories and important moments in our faith story are worth revisiting. Take time to remember all that God has done in you. I like how it doesn't say, take time to remember all that God has done for you. But it actually says, take time to remember all that God has done in you. That's refreshing. And the verse is Isaiah 46:9, and it says, remember the things I have done in the past, for I alone am God. I am God, and there is none like me. Measuring through memories. Yes, where does the time go? It seems like just yesterday. Speaking of that, I just think of, it's November. Thanksgiving is here. And one of the things that I feel like Thanksgiving is all about is just remembering the year and the blessings and what God has done for us and in us and through us. And so I just encourage you today, if your life is feeling a little ugly, just remember that you can love the unlovely into loveliness. And I wonder how we can do that. What do you think? Probably one is remembering what he's done, the good and the bad. Being grateful for everything, even the good and the bad, the good and even the bad. And just keep going every day. Anyway, I hope that you have a great day. I have a goal this month. I'm going to say it out loud so that I actually do it. I have a goal this month to be working on my last 8 chapters of my book every single day of the month. So, I got to go do that. Because regardless if this publisher picks it up or not, this book is going to get published. If I've got to publish it myself, I'm going to do it. So, I got to finish the book. Anyway, I hope you guys are good. I hope you're great, in fact, and relive some of these stories that you have in your life. And look back and see not just what God has done for you, but look what God has done in you, the growth that you have made in this last year. When you think of it that way, it does feel kind of lovely. Yeah. Anyway, love you guys, and hope you have a really awesome day. See you next week. Okay, bye.